Hello, everyone. Before we get started on this week's episode, just a quick word that YouTube, in all its infinite wisdom, has decided that some of the Die Party games are now not suitable for advertising. It doesn't mean a whole lot for the content. I'm not going to censor the videos in any way, but if you'd like to lend your support so that Die Party can continue to grow, please check out the Patreon or subscribe on the Twitch channel. Enjoy the episode. Hello everyone, welcome back to week number 14 of Die Party LA at Night, a weekly Vampire the Masquerade role-playing experience right here on Twitch. You might have noticed something a little different about the overlay. It seems to be missing one particular character, and for good reason. It's with a heavy heart that we had to let Dear Tuesday sneak off for a little bit of time because she has to deal with real life stuff. Motherfucker, you need to trust.
You were basically starting a trust. You're like, is that heavy heart? We have to mention that Tuesday's been hit by a bus and won't be on the show anymore.
That's it.
Look, she has to take a couple weeks off, and if she can get things under control on Monday nights, she might be back. And if she can't, then we'll find a replacement. But for now, we're just gonna go on without her because it's an expected absence.
3 dudes and a whole world. What's gonna happen? Yeah, that's the new sitcom that we have. It's called 3 Dudes in a Whole World. Anyway, guys, we're back. It seems like we've been playing this game for fucking forever, but it's only been 13 weeks.
Spooky. I can tell you right now that 13 is an unlucky number.
Because 13 was last week. We're in the 14th now.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Then in that case, why did you say 13 weeks then?
Because we haven't played this week yet. We're in the middle of it. You don't say whatever. It doesn't matter. Point is,
whatever.
We're here. We're clear. Time to make some vampire mustard. Oh, I mean, that works too. So let's go around and introduce everyone who'll be playing with us today. First off, we have none other than the internet famous Tux Radamus. He's gracing our presence today, playing Maria Jimenez.
I'm not used to being first. I was chewing. Hi, everybody.
Is it Jimenez or is it Jimenez?
It's Jimenez. God, learn some culture.
It's Jimmy's.
Welcome Maria's Jimmy's.
It's like Jim E's, like Rusty's.
I'm gonna eat some nuts while you fucking talk about.
Hopefully soon I'll be able to welcome Amphis to Maria's Jimmy's.
Got him.
Jim E's is like Rusty's, only instead of for rust, it's for when your Jimmy's are rustled. So it's Jimmy's. Ease your Jims with Jim E's.
It's simple, Rick.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, what have you been up to, man?
Stuff, things, work, bullshit. Yeah, games, things. I got some crackers. Pretty good.
Are they the sponsored crackers? Because you're not allowed to eat anything unless it's sponsored crackers. So.
Oh, well, then they're generic crackers that I found in the street.
Definitely not Cheez-Its.
Definitely not Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Were they at least like in a wrapper, or did you just like pick them up off the ground?
I just found them.
Nice.
Moist, yeah. Moist.
They're in a puddle.
Yeah.
I put them over my vent so it'll dry off a little bit.
See, that's thinking with portals.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Cool. Well, I guess the next person I need to introduce is none other than the famous man who fought off a fucking whirlwind, hurricane. What up? It's Brian. It's Spooty.
I ate a can of spinach like Popeye, and my muscles grew really big, and I punched that fucker right in the face.
Damn.
I did the same to Maria. I punched her back out to sea.
Nice. I also like the idea that you had to mathematically calculate where its face was because it was spinning around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about timing. All about timing.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Not too much. Still on the Destiny 2 kick.
Mm-hmm.
And I also did a little bit of streaming today, finally, after a little while. I've got a new
What?
setup at the house. I played some Rock of Ages 2 and Blood Bowl 2. So
Nice.
it was the day of sequels.
I hear Blood Bowl's like jacking into fucking cocaine central.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
Mm-hmm. Take a big old spoonful of cocaine, heat it up over a spoon, slide it into your nostrils.
That would burn. That would not be a pleasant experience.
And so
I'm told.
And so is playing Blood Bowl 2, I hear saying. Yeah.
It's all right. I mean, I have the physical board game, but it's a pain in the dick to set up and play like in real life.
Yeah.
So it's nice to fire it up on the old gaming machine every once in a while.
The old computing mechanical device.
The old circuit board collaborator.
Speaking about collaborating with circuit boards, let's go on over to our GM, our story master, our storyteller. What up, sir? How you doing?
Everything is terrible. My life is miserable. I'm sick. I'm unhappy. Everything in the sphere of my functioning adulthood is crumbling around me.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can help. Unless you are a psychiatrist or pharmacist and can get me meds. Wink, wink. I saw Kingsman: The Golden Circle this weekend.
Oh wait, that's out now? Fuck yeah.
It's a great movie.
Okay,
It's an
I'll have to
excellent
check that out. Has anyone here seen that new one with Tom Cruise in it, where he's a drug trafficker?
I don't think that one has come out yet.
That one's not out yet? Okay, because I want to see that one.
I don't care for that. But Kingsman: The Golden Circle was great. Don't listen to the snotty people online who are like, well, this one little thing was not perfect, so I think the movie's bad. There's a lot of really harsh criticism on the movie right now that is not justly deserved.
I mean, in the first movie, he fucked a princess in the ass.
Yeah, it's like they're forgetting that part entirely when they're like, one of the things that they did was kind of not accurate. And it's like,
who gives a fuck?
They blew up the heads of everyone in the world last movie.
Right.
It's like the criticism online is so pedantic, and it's like, why? The first movie was just this joy, and the second plays to that exactly the same.
Except it's got Americans in it as well.
Yeah, like it's a different movie. It doesn't have a scene comparable to the Baptist fight scene. You know?
Oh my god.
The best scene in cinema that's ever been made.
The best scene in
so good.
Yeah, it really
so
is
good.
the most amazing thing that's ever been done with cinematography ever. It doesn't have that, but how could it possibly?
Right, of course.
If they tried to fit that in, it would be like, oh, they're just trying to ape the first one, right? Like they still have some really intense, like long fight sequences, but it's not like that fight sequence at all.
Yeah.
I don't want to know anything else more about it because I'm incredibly interested in how they bring back that fucking guy. But other than that, I want to see it. I'm definitely gonna have to see that now.
It's not even like ham-fisted. It makes a ton of sense when they bring him back and they tell you how. It's not even just like, oh yeah, like turtles, mate, or something, like Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever. It's like, no, they explain it. It goes well.
Okay, cool.
I think it's a great movie. Anyway, I'm having a terrible time and I'm tired and I'm sick, so we're gonna have a really mellow episode today, and it might end early. We'll see how it goes. We'll see where we're at.
All right.
We'll see how it plays out. Last week, Lavin successfully, at least to all outward appearances, negotiated peace with the Wizards.
That's right, we're calling them wizards. I keep forgetting that every single time it comes up. It's like, yeah, how are the Wizards doing? It's like, fucking, of course. How did I forget about that?
To all outward appearances, Lavin, largely even single-handedly, negotiated a peace with the wizards. You know, there were some things that happened during the meeting that other player characters helped to contain and to direct and to influence. But as far as credit, Lavin's getting all of it.
Great.
You know, there was a part where Damien got
Molested.
harshed on for being a Lasombra. He also discovered that he doesn't cast a reflection. So that's new and interesting.
He has John Cena powers.
We're going to it's not really like a time skip in which a bunch of days pass because you guys are actually on a tight clock and I don't want to take too many days away from you. But like over the next couple of nights, maybe, like, do you remember how you guys are sort of assigned to Amethyst and vice versa?
Yeah. Huh.
Well, there's no commentary on that from the higher ups, and you don't see Amethyst.
What happened to that drink, though?
Yeah, they're going on a date. We'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to cover the sort of larger strokes.
Okay, so
you said Braden and Amethyst are going on a date? Gotcha.
No. Maria and Amethyst successfully went out for drinks, which is in no way sexually charged.
Yeah.
On the face of it.
It was meant to cheer her up because she was feeling really down.
Right. And honestly, like we'll cover it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure nothing of interest will happen on it other than to say that it occurred, like, is the most impactful thing about it. But we will.
Right, yeah, we don't have to like go into a hour-long RP session about it.
We will cover it just in case something comes up. But anyway, you don't see Amethyst for that period of time, and you don't hear from Don Salvador, and you're sort of left to your own devices for a couple nights, and you maybe aren't really sure what to do because, you know, you've got all these commitments and implications and rules, and no one's telling you anything. And then after a couple nights, Don Salvador gets back to you. He says, you know, you're back assigned to Amethyst. Amethyst is going to watch you. You have to do something to get the vote in your favor, you know, coming up here. Lavin, however, has secured her vote and her place. And the only thing that you could do now is bring her down. So I've advised her to distance herself from you and focus on working the club and getting that up and running. And if you guys get the vote through, then you'll see the fruits of that labor as well. Right now, focus on, you know, not getting staked and beheaded for being weird. That's basically what you hear and how we're writing Lavin out of the next couple of weeks of the show.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's fair.
Yeah. It was like immediately obvious how I was gonna do it when I heard that I had to. For those of you playing along at home in the meta, this would not have happened if she could still be joining us. She would not have just been like, yeah, you're fine, and stay away from these chuckle fucks. They're just gonna ruin your.
There's that fucking word again, man. Chuckle fuck. I was like,
All right, yeah. For those of you playing the home game, take your Lavin piece away and set that aside.
Yep.
Yep. Because now she's in a stasis where nothing.
And then on the DVD, go to scene 17.
Oh man, Mastermind. Oh. God damn it, Arrow. I know what we need to play on board games now. God damn.
Or like Nightmare.
Yeah. Yep. Just plug in the VHS and just fucking play along. Oh my god, that's definitely something I want to do.
Right. So let's briefly cover that you and Amethyst went out. In a way that is friends. Well, give me the broad strokes. Like, she's like, you've convinced her to go out with you. Are you suggesting a place? Like, are you taking the lead in that way, or are you hoping that she does as far as where you go?
Yeah, I will try to Well, see, this is weird because we can't really go out for drinks because we can't drink.
There's an expectation
You
that
can
you're
drink
going
blood.
out for people.
Oh, we're going out for people. Okay.
Right. But the thing is, vampires go out for people in the same places that people go out for drinks. So you can still find a good club with the right ambiance.
That's fair.
And also serving the right people, the right
How the
substances.
fuck does she get into nightclubs? She's fucking looks like she's 15 years old, right?
She looks on the young side, but bouncers, especially in the world of darkness, care a lot about how you carry yourself and how you dress. And she carries herself.
Also, chicks to dudes ratio is probably the biggest factor when it comes to letting people in.
That's also a big factor.
Yeah.
We're gonna be real honest. Age, prohibitive age, as far as substance abuse, not a big deal in World of Darkness.
I wasn't thinking so.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
you even let me into nightclubs wearing a fucking red Hawaiian shirt.
Certain nightclubs you wouldn't be allowed into. So far, you've only gone into basically dives, like one flavor of dive or another is what you've gone into. But if you ever went into the Chateau or something, it's like, which is still technically a nightclub, not like a restaurant or anything. But yeah, you wouldn't be able to get in there with a Hawaiian shirt
and a pair of thongs. Yeah,
you got to button up the Hawaiian shirt first.
Mm-hmm.
I got a wife beater underneath. It's fine.
So tell
Classy.
me. Rhea.
Yeah, I'll just find random. I think I'll just find some sort of club.
You're not gonna Yelp that shit? Come on, man. Call up the fucking.
Yelp doesn't exist, Dave.
I know.
It's the 90s.
Oh yeah.
But just a random club,
I think so. Yeah. Just walk and whatever area we're in, just try to find some sort of place where people are gathering, and perhaps we could sneak around and bite into their necks.
So the first place that you'll come upon, which is just random and nearby, is a very very punk, very industrial, they took a warehouse and turned it into a bar, but didn't take out any of the warehouse stuff, for the look of it. But also they also stapled fences to the walls. You know what I mean?
The place in Blade?
No, that's in a church. One of them's in the church and the other one's in a ex-hospital or something. The two times they go into nightclubs in Blade that I recall.
My God, what type of nightclubs are you thinking goes on in your head? Wow, God, holy shit.
No, so it's they've got fences and corrugated roof bits just bolted to the wall.
It sounds like a TGI Fridays, man.
And
little
also,
knickknacks on the wall, there's a cat.
And the lighting and music is oppressive. So now, is that fine? Because that's her scene for maybe having a good time. But as we left off last episode, I'm not sure that that's what you were going for. Are you going for let's have a good time tonight and distract you from your problems, or are you going for I want to sit down and chat and have a heart to heart? Because this was terrible for that.
Probably the latter, and I guess attempting the latter, and then if that ends up not working out so well, then just okay, then yeah, fuck it, let's just
there's always the VIP stuff.
Not always.
Latter going into the former, if depending on how receptive she is.
Right. So this place is terrible for the latter.
Right.
Great for the former. So I mean, if you're taking the lead, what's your prognosis?
Prognosis.
What's your prognosis, Doctor?
She is a doctor.
Yeah, I know.
Man, trying to think of places to eat people is weird.
Don't worry about that part. Treat it like it's just a normal night out. The people will be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
if you need to go to a place that is perfect for your intentions but doesn't have easy vampiric feeding, you can always just have her feed on some gang members nearby or something. Like there can always be food adjacent to a night out. It doesn't need to be
Okay, sure. Okay, so then in that
I
case,
mean, there's also the taste, like that's like a quiet cafe that has blood in the coffee.
that's true. There's
But
also the chance of people being there, though, like that we know.
There's always going to be people there. Well, I mean, I guess that's not true. Yes, at the taste, people will know you. Or
Right,
know
like there's a chance of like one of the barons just kind of happening to walk in there.
Sure, always, but
Right.
that's is that a big deal? Like, I mean,
Well, like I'm assuming she doesn't want to see people like that right now because like they all just yelled at her.
it's possible. That's a valid line of questioning.
I'm assuming. So I'm thinking. I'm thinking just like not nightclubby then, but like dive bar sort of place.
Right.
Yeah, not like a nightclub where it's going to be super loud and super obnoxious, but like some sort of divey bar where like they might have music, but it's more for just being there. And then yeah,
Okay. Sure. So like a more quiet bar.
sure.
Sure. The first one you come to, which fits that description, is a little bit country in its slant. Is that a problem?
Hey y'all, what can I get you a drink?
Not that country. It's just it plays country music, and there's a couple people in there with Stetson hats on. It's but
Yeah,
it's
I was
still
driving my big rig the other day, and then I hit a truck.
it's still quiet. It's still just got a sousson of music, which happens to be country music.
I don't know if I'm feeling that.
Yeah, but there's another thing to consider here too. It's like you've just shared a moment where she's agreed to go out with you. I mean, you're probably talking along the way a little bit.
Yeah.
But you don't want to miss the moment. You know what I mean? By spending too long going to places.
Why don't you just go to a bar, grab a booth, fucking relax. That's all you need to do. Like, it's not difficult, man. Like a lot of people make and ah about this shit all the time.
They do. He's doing it right now.
And people do it all the fucking time. Find the first bar, find a booth, sit in that fucking booth. If you want to drink, pull some people in, take them to the bathroom. Done. Easy peasy. Shouldn't be this difficult.
Yeah, but it's like a country bar though. That's not really my area scene.
Just any bar, man. Like the thing with
Fine.
LA is there's plenty of bars
Look,
everywhere.
look, Damien is not there giving Maria relationship advice.
Relationship advice. This is get fucked up advice. This is different.
This is like, don't overthink your date, man.
Fine, country bar it is.
All right.
God.
Either that or take her rock climbing so she remembers it in 45,000 years when she's still alive.
You have a very generous appraisal of a mammoth's life expectancy.
Look, eventually there's only going to be vampires floating around in the ether. So, because they never die and they don't need oxygen, so who fucking cares, right?
If they need blood. They need blood to wake up every day.
And then they just never wake up.
Country blood.
And also direct sunlight kills them, which in space, you are always
Look, if
being hit by direct sunlight.
If a fucking sun explodes, there's no more sun. They just live forever, right?
Yeah.
That's how that works?
Right.
Yeah. Fucking come at me, atheists. I got your number.
Anyway,
Just find a black hole.
Yeah.
the black hole.
Easy.
Right. So, is there a conversation in particular? Maybe not without role playing it too intensely, but especially walking there as you sit down. Is there something in particular that you're attempting to, crest with her?
I guess as much as she's willing to talk about it, I want to learn more about her. Probably some sort of like,
Well, as we hit upon last week, the crux of it was calling her like cool. Um, you know,
right, and it's probably like, so I'm new and really shitty at this, and you're really good at this. Like, where did you learn to use your powers so well? That kind of talk. Like,
so she will tell you, that it's easier when you have a sire, and it's easier in the Camarilla. I spent I never knew my sire.
Oh, something we have in common.
Bond over
But-
daddy issues. I love it.
But I grew up in the Camarilla. And the Camarilla have systems in place for that sort of thing. Somebody was in charge of me. The primogen of my clan. I had to work hard at first to make sure that they knew that I was a valuable asset and not just a meaningless caitiff.
Probably better here now that you don't have to prove yourself as much. Everyone's valuable to the Anarchs, it seems.
You really think that with what they're putting you through?
I can understand where they're coming from, seeing that we just randomly showed up and they don't know where we came from.
The problem is that they know where you came from. They know you came from the Sabbat. Or at least someone went through an awful lot of trouble to make it look like you did.
Right. Yeah.
Of course, your friend is Sabbat, so that settles that question in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
You don't understand. We talk about the Camarilla and the Sabbat, but you haven't seen either of them.
Right. Yeah.
The Camarilla is the worst soap opera you've ever seen where your life is on the line all the time. And Sabbat it's beyond description. It's just violence and gore and feeding and treating humans like cattle, but also treating lesser vampires like cattle. The only thing that matters is pain and suffering and loyalty. And well over half of the members of the Sabbat are being just completely mind controlled. They don't even have a chance to agree or disagree with how it works.
Yeah, both those sound pretty shitty.
And then when the Sabbat want something, they will destroy everything to take it without nuance, without any consideration to collateral damage.
Guess I'm glad I didn't wake up there.
Well, yeah. But it looks like you and your friends are some kind of Sabbat play. And in the vampire world, dealing with the Camarilla, you always assume there's some kind of play, even if there isn't. I've seen you guys firsthand. I know that you're completely incompetent. There's no way you're some sort of Sabbat special ops team sent in to destroy the Anarchs. You've almost died, or had me killed, or been killed too often for.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't think you're any kind of threat, but I still think there's some sort of thing with what was happening, and maybe they didn't get to do the thing that they were going to do, and it's all in the past, or maybe it's still coming up. personally, I don't think the Anarchs are in a position to fight off a Sabbat anything right now. And I think the other Anarchs know it, and that's why they're so scared of you.
Huh.
You represent that the Sabbat came into our territory and made some shovel heads and left without getting captured. And regardless of whether or not there's more to it than that and something's going to come from it, or there's some sort of scheme or whatever, you still represent intrinsically a weakness and a failure that shouldn't have occurred. Now, see, I see, and to some extent, Salvador and maybe McNeil. She says, like, begrudgingly. She doesn't like saying McNeil's name.
Hmm.
We see you as assets, potentially, because one of you is a Lasombra, and we've never had a Lasombra before. And that opens doors, that opens pathways to things that we haven't seen before. You know, there are Sabbat powers that are very useful. We know that the Lasombra can do some pretty interesting things. I mean, your buddy obviously doesn't know how to do any of them yet, and maybe it takes him decades to learn without a teacher, but vampires tend to think in terms of decades, not, years.
Yeah, with the whole immortality thing. I can see that. So you think if we can show our worth somehow, would that let us stick around?
That's the pretense of it, but really it's all about excuses. They're looking for those of them that think that you represent this horrible failure and this horrible security risk are looking for excuses to kill you. And those of us who want to use you and exploit you are looking for excuses to save you. On the face of that, that is prove your worth, blah, 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 prove that you're loyal to the Anarchs. But it's really just anything that we can grasp onto right now.
You want to exploit me?
I mean,
Here we go.
what can you even do?
Well, let me tell you about this thing I have where I can make your face do things.
She puts a hand up to stop you, though. She's like, I don't mean that in actually tell me what you can do and prove your worth to me right now. I mean, I actually haven't seen you do anything, and I don't know what you can do. So I'm interested in your whole group and how maybe someday you're an asset to me. But right now, I actually don't see that. I just see a bunch of bumbling chuckle fucks, which is fine because you're basically caitiff. You're totally without sires. I mean, you're only a couple weeks in. You're teenagers who get superpowers. What expectation can anybody ever have of that? The whole sire-childer relationship is so incredibly important to keeping young vampires under control. But the best vampires are always the ones that don't have sires and figure things out. So, if the gamble pays off, you'll be stronger for it.
Past few weeks, I've been doing a lot of studying with what I can do, and it's pretty fucking weird. I can trust you, right?
No.
Okay, then. Okay.
Look, I don't mean anything.
Look, I'm gonna trust you anyway because I want to tell someone.
Look, I don't mean anything by that. It's I'm not a good sire, and I'm not good for giving people advice or teaching them anything. You know, I'm assigned to you as punishment, not as because that's what's going to give you the best chance of success. But if I can tell you anything, it's you just can't trust anybody, not even a little bit.
Do you still see this as a punishment?
Yes.
Oh. Well,
I'm not getting anything out of nights that I spend babysitting you guys, and I was in the middle of something, you know, when you showed up. Everybody's always in the middle of something. I have plans. I have things I'm working on. All of them are on the back burner.
anything we can help with?
Not that would paint you in a positive light.
Ah.
You know, it's important that you're selfish in this world. It's important that you're self-interested.
Well,
Yeah.
I've always been pretty outwardly focused.
Anarchs have the pretense of charity to differentiate themselves from the Camarilla, not because the pretense of charity actually makes them stronger. So be charitable when you can, when it's easy and doesn't cost you anything, to maintain the Anarch way of life. But at the end of the day, you're going to end up as a pile of ash if you're not self-interested.
So if I try to help people, I'm going to end up in the street?
You're going to end up dead.
What if I'm strong enough to help myself and help other people?
Well, then you're looking at somebody like McNeil. You know, McNeil made the Anarch state happen. And he made it happen because he's one of the most powerful Bruja that have ever lived. People accept his word as law because nobody can stand up to him. And he doesn't even want that. He actually believes that we can all be equals and have equal rule. But believing in it isn't making it happen, I tell you that much.
Yeah, it's hard to do, especially with people that can do the things that we can do. Well, my goal now is to not die in a couple of weeks at, what's it called again?
Elysium.
Elysium.
Well, so it's a rant or a rave. When Anarchs get together, it's a rant or a rave. But because the Anarch state is so big, they've never had something this so big before. Camarilla have something called Elysium. And we jokingly called ours Elysium, but also there's some people who are mad that we're still using the word Elysium. They prefer the term rant or rave. It's a, judge the crowd you're with kind of thing. Call it a rave when there are a bunch of Bruja Anarch purists in the room. Call it Elysium if everybody else is laid back and doesn't give a shit.
Okay. Well, don't die at Elysium, at whatever you prefer to call it. Learn more about what I can do and get you to let me trust you.
Well, that last one's a bit of a problem.
Why?
I mean, if you want to trust me, you can do it whenever you want, and it's your funeral. So the second you trust me is the second that you're a tool that I can use because you've shared with me some secret or some weakness. That's how it works. You know, don't just think about the next few weeks. Don't just think about what you've seen in the last few nights. You know, trusting me now, sharing something with me that you don't have to now is something that might not bite you in the ass for 50 or 60 years, but when it does, it could undo everything. It could undo everything later when there's so much more at stake.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at these fucking speeches.
No, it makes sense. It's just weird to think about because 3 weeks ago I was trying to pick a specialization, and now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to survive for the next forever.
It won't be that hard. They'll assign me back to your case. We'll go beat somebody up who's causing some trouble. Like I said, the people who want to keep you around are more powerful than the people who want you dead. So they need less of an excuse.
It's good.
Now, you didn't fuck things up with the wizards. Nobody's blaming you for the bad shit that happened. So that's not counted against you right now. But your little scene at the rave, that is counting against you right now. Not much, but a little. Showed just how many people aren't comfortable having you around, and that gives power to the people who want to kill you. So that's how much we have to overcome with whatever you guys accomplish. But I've got a strong sense that Lavin probably has already bought her meal ticket. And that's something to consider too. We don't have to beat somebody up for this to be done. You know, you can accomplish things that don't involve punching, I guess. It's not really your guys' skill set.
I'm kind of better at not punching things, so.
So that's, I mean, from there, she's like, I don't want to stop talking about serious stuff.
Yeah, let's go eat.
Encourage you to get food.
Yeah.
Like she'll hang out with you for the rest of the night, but she doesn't really warm up any more than that.
Sure.
And if this was a Persona game, I think they do some sort of tracking on relationships in those games, right?
Yeah, your social link.
I don't know how that scale works.
She's going to give you a free massage so that you can continue to explore after you come back from the.
But just so that you know how to feel about socially how this night goes, like your social standing with her improved when she agreed to go out with you and talk, and just didn't change at all from this.
That's fair.
This talk didn't improve things at all. It didn't really ingratiate you.
You didn't get any like heart popping above her head, you know?
Right. Yeah.
You didn't like say the right things or do the right things. But you didn't do any wrong things or bad things either. It doesn't go down in any way.
Right.
So yeah. Then we move into that time skip. Where you guys find out that Lavin's has basically been separated from you by the powers that be, the people that want to use her and don't want to see her get dragged down by you guys. And that you are going to be reassigned to Amethyst. Now,
is there a chance I could have done something in that small period of time?
Well, depends.
Yeah, well, I mean, let me lay it out for you what I had in mind. So the last time that we saw Damien, he was, he had a very eye-opening experience as to how much his clan is hated within the
Sure. Yeah.
within this group. So I want to do whatever I can to find out history about what it is and why people are frightened of it. Like, I don't know why people like. My first experience was with this is when we had a fight with those bikers,
Right. Sure.
and they were like, "Oh man, hey, what's up? We're not doing anything bad here." I'm like, "What?" And the second one is this, right? So,
Right. Okay. So I guess the question is, who do you like? What is your lead? Who do you ask? Like, do you just walk up to Alexa and be like, "What the fuck do you know about Lasombras?"
no, I'm not gonna talk to Alexa about this. She doesn't seem like the type to. I mean, she's like the motherly type. She doesn't seem like the type that will give me any actual information.
Well, yeah. So what is your modus operandi here?
Well, ideally, I was hoping that potentially Don Salvador, I don't want to talk to either.
Okay.
Because I don't feel like I sort of gave him something. Like I said that I would, help him and do whatever he want. And he didn't really return much. Like, and this is maybe like just the bad way of thinking because I'm still in the human mindset of time is short, but vampires.
He also has done in the short term a lot for you. Maybe not in like it. He's done as much as he could do under the circumstances.
Sure, yeah.
He's made that clear, and also he's still promising you a gun.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about that, right? That's not.
Sure.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lay more on there than
clear.
that's already there.
Got it.
What I want to try and find is maybe someone who is like an archivist or something like that. Someone who archives things. I don't know if there is anyone like
Yes,
maybe.
but who are you going to ask about the existence of such a person? Because you just don't know.
Yeah. So
are you asking Alexa about archivists?
I'm thinking I'm gonna ask McNeil.
Okay, you don't have communication lines to McNeil.
Okay. Well, I mean, is there a way that I could have talked to him about this in the opportunity that I did?
You spoke to him about other stuff, and his response was, "We will talk later, but take time to think about what we've spoken on." If you recall,
I do recall. Yeah.
He was like, "Maybe what you think you want isn't exactly what you want,
Yeah.
and I don't need you for the thing that you are offering,
Okay.
but I want to help you find your place in this because I also felt the exact same thing when I became a vampire. I had a thing that I was missing,
Sure.
and right. So he wants you to take time, and then you guys will talk later about that.
Now, in terms of what I can do without finding like a book or some bullshit, right? Is there anything I can do to sort of experiment with my clan blood in a way? And when I mean that, I mean like try and like I guess see what my limits are physically and maybe mentally in a way that because previously I knew what it was as a cop, right? I know I could see a dead body and not be fazed by it, that sort of shit. And I did a little bit with it when I did the sun stuff, and I want to try and do more of that. But I want to see why people are scared of this blood power that I have, the clan power that I have.
So you're just gonna make shadows and dick around with them?
A little of that, and a little of like maybe, like just sort of maybe spend the days like feeding and then like experimenting and seeing what it's actually capable of and why people are frightened of it, and just sort of like push like the extremes that I can with it in that time.
You can get that sort of, so you can do that for those couple of days that we're skipping, those couple of nights. And unlike an anime, which has like a training montage of 1 day, and then they're more powerful than they've ever been before. You start you start dicking around with your powers in non-combat situations to try and feel them out. And if anything, at first, as you start this, your powers feel a lot weaker and a lot rustier and almost cramped than they have in the times when you've called upon them unknowingly during combat.
Right. Okay.
Can I request an anime montage though? If I request it, I can get it, right?
No.
I mean, you can make your own illusion of an anime montage if you want to.
Exactly.
But basically that would be the thing that you learn in the next few days, is that using your powers outside of the heat of the moment to save your life is just harder than using them otherwise. Like,
Okay.
and this is going to take a lot of time to get the passive and non-lethal use of the powers like as flexible and girthy as the danger zone use of the powers. So definitely learned something. And also on a path to learning more. Braden, is there anything you want to do with a couple of days off? I think there is.
Yeah, I want to get our security system set up at our house because I haven't done that yet.
Okay, I also want you to do that. The problem is they want you to stay away from there. That's the taste where Lavin is working, and they just don't want you to wrap her up in anything right now.
Okay.
And like, they're letting you still, or sorry, your guys is the vein? What is it?
It's just
Yeah,
vein.
vein.
It's just vein.
Just vein,
Yeah.
right? Your guys is as it's being remodeled into just vein. The taste is the other one where you're still being allowed to stay.
Oh, you got this
maybe-
van. Maybe you can trick it out. I don't know.
Well, no, I was gonna say in lieu of that, maybe I could I don't know, train with somebody there to help increase my fortitude. Like basically because that helps me kind of soak damage and stuff, right?
Yep.
Sure. So what you want to actually ask someone to fight with you and spar?
Yeah, but it would basically consist of them beating the crap out of me and me learning how to take a punch better, I guess.
Sure. Who would you ask for that? Who would you go to say beat the snot out of me?
Oh, I mean, I can think of one person.
Good luck.
Wreckage.
Yeah.
I mean, would Amethyst want to beat the shit out of me?
No.
Why?
Because now that you want it, she wants to do nothing less than that.
Well, what if I do it? What if I don't ask her to be hey, I want you to beat me up so I can train? What if I just kind of piss her off, but not so much
She'll
that
probably
she
just kill
goes
you,
crazy?
right?
And
Yeah,
then,
if you just start hounding her to get beaten up, she's just gonna kill you.
Can I
And
make
she
a
won't
suggestion?
even experience repercussions from it. You really need to ask somebody around
Why
to
don't
beat
you-
the shit out of you.
Why don't you ask the guy who drove us to the rave?
Well, I have a suggestion
Okay.
also, which is that you got maybe you don't want to, maybe you both want this to be a very personal journey, but Damien could be beating the shit out of you with shadows. And it could be
That's kind of interesting. That way he's learning and I'm
you're
learning as
both
well,
doing the
right?
thing that you said that you were doing, but together instead of looking for NPCs that maybe don't want to help. And if
Yeah, and that would make sense too because Damien and Braden have been, hanging out, I guess, more than anyone else in the crew.
well,
the
that's
o-
up to
the-
Damien. Damien, would you do that, or do you want your thing to be deeply personal,
Well,
meditative?
the only
alone?
thing is, I don't know I don't know how dangerous it is. I also don't know specifically I don't know anything. All I know is that people fucking deathly frightened of it to the point where they want to lynch mob me. So anyone who's a witness to what I'm doing is probably a bad thing.
All right. Well, then how about this? How about so I also need to feed a little bit anyway. So
what you want
don't
to find big dudes to beat the shit out of you?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my MO, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll go pick up some big dudes at a bar.
Are you going to learn a lot from? So you got hurt once from that, and only because they pulled a knife on you. As far as like them hitting you, even with like 2x4s and stuff, humans doing that to a vampire isn't really going to push the limits of his fortitude.
So now, what's a good sort of real world situation I can put myself in
without somebody else, like asking somebody else to punch you a bunch?
Right.
You could throw yourself off of progressively higher buildings.
That's what I was gonna say.
Are you gonna you gonna fucking heroes this thing?
I get up saying on top of me like, Amethyst, this is for you. It's all for you, and just jump off the building.
Yeah, you could throw yourself off progressively higher buildings, and it would actually push the limits of fortitude. Like you could find your sort of the place where you're not going to accidentally die if something goes wrong, but also where you're taking enough actual damage that you are, testing how to soak and
learning
stuff.
how to take a punch, basically.
That works,
you're learning how to take a great deal of damage, is what fortitude is about. Oh, hi, thank you.
Pizza, motherfucker, give me that pizza. You like that song? It's good.
That's the pizza song.
Don't you hate it when you bite into a fucking nut, like a fucking thingy, and it's like gross on the inside, and you're like, fuck.
Mm-hmm. It's not. It's Wendy's, actually. Eat fresh. No, that's not Wendy's.
That's Subway.
Always fresh, never frozen. That's Wendy's, which is the exact same slogan.
I can't think of anything but like a fucking grimacing fucking teenage girl when I think of Wendy's now.
Yeah, because they've turned her into like the internet has done things with that mascot.
Yeah,
it's not good. They aren't good things.
No.
I mean, some of them are not good things, and some of them are pretty cool. Like I've seen some comics where like Wendy is like fighting anime McDonald, and like has a katana, and it's like awesome. But also there are bad things.
Yeah, the bad ones where it's like, hey, you guys know she's like 8.
But in the tradition of drawing characters, they can be whatever age.
Sure.
I mean, Powerpuff Girls are in kindergarten, and I've seen plenty of adult Powerpuff Girls.
Okay. Moving on. You wonder why YouTube doesn't fucking allow my shit to get advertised anymore, and we're talking about this shit.
I don't think we could do a Die Party game that YouTube would be okay with. Like, I don't think we could. Like,
well, they basically block everything now. So
yeah, they basically block everything, and so I think even the part where I'm like, "You're staked through the heart." You're like, "Oh, I don't want it." Whoa! Are you advocating violence? Did you advocate teenagers to stake each other in the hearts? It's like, no.
All right, I'm gonna throw myself off of buildings.
Progressively higher buildings. All right.
Yes.
So, Maria, we're gonna go to break here in a second.
Okay.
But they're using those days to do a thing. Honestly, you could also just relax. You don't have to hyperbolic time chamber yourself if you don't want to.
I think.
But what do you do?
I mean, the difference between...
I just want to like the books. I think it's going to be like fairly relaxing. But the books that I got from my apartment, I want to like take the time to like study. Kind of.
You want more like just more anatomy research and
yeah, like and it's like
looking at it in a new light as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I'm like rereading it and like, oh, but they're seeing it as like, oh, this is stuck this way. But I'm looking at it like, okay, it's this way, but what if I changed it? Like, yeah, looking at it in a new way, kind of like rereading stuff.
Like moving your heart to the bottom of your foot.
Right.
Like which bone in the human body would make the best weapon if I turned it into a weapon that was literally exterior.
Right.
God damn it! Why haven't you done that
sort of stuff?
Yet?
Like if I figured I can move bone, what would happen if I shot my arm bone out of my body? Or like, okay,
Yeah.
if I'm aiming to help somebody, how can I do this in a way that won't hurt them? Like,
You need to move your heart out of the way. By the way, you need to move it somewhere else in your body.
you need to move your
do
heart.
that all the time.
You need to move your heart. New love song. I called it.
No, Zamisi are always hiding their heart in places that it shouldn't be.
Is that like metaphorically?
No, literally.
No,
Like they're hard to get to.
Like literally physically. Well, also metaphorically.
You could create a second rib cage around your heart.
It's true.
You
You
could
can just
do-
find some bones and just make a shell.
Anyway,
There are limitations to the power. Like you can't just put your heart in like a bone box. Like
And you can never truly love someone.
even though your
Oh.
circulatory system doesn't need to function, it's still like as a vampire, you can't actually cut the heart off from the rest of the
Sure.
the body. You know.
'Cause isn't that where like, the Vita is actually stored? Like kind of.
And like metaphorically, like it's all spirit and magic and wumbo jumbo, and it's like
Okay,
the rules
sure.
don't always make sense, and you can't Davy Jones it. Like there are Zamisi who like have their arm detached from their body and it's off having a holiday, but they can't do that with their heart.
They get emails from their arms off in Switzerland and
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
My son here for 17 months of the year. Anyway,
Right. Anyway,
Let's take
Yeah,
a
but
break,
yeah. So yeah, I spend the time like reading and studying anatomy from like a new perspective.
good, excellent. We'll consider that. Time passes. You guys do some self betterment bullshit. You know, it'll amount to something someday. Eventually, I'm positive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do
Then
I
what
get another dot in fortitude for
No,
throwing myself
fuck
off
no.
buildings?
No, not yet.
Aw.
You have to do something.
I threw myself off buildings.
You have to accomplish something.
I didn't die.
all right. So
Not much of an accomplishment, I'm going to be honest.
we've got a couple of days, a
Well,
week
no,
and
so
a
now
bit.
that time has passed.
Yeah.
And now technically you're supposed to meet up with Amethyst again and go cruising for, or at least work towards getting your meal ticket at the Elysium.
Right.
Gotta get that merit badge.
So I guess we meet up with her somewhere, and she'll have to drag us somewhere, and we'll have to do what she says.
Is that the game plan though? I mean, is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I mean.
I mean, we don't
seems to make
have
the
no
most
one.
sense.
No one wants to share any information with the outsiders about things that need doing. Yet they say it's the world's biggest catch-22. Do something to get us on your good side, but we're not going to tell you what it is. You need independence. Fucking asshole vampires. So, I guess what we're looking for is, how can we make the lives of vampires better and also prove... I think I have the hardest job of everyone here because now everyone knows that I'm a fucking Le Sombre. So my thought is to like give them clan secrets or something.
If it makes you feel any better, that reveal hurt everyone in your group just as much as it hurt you.
I just wanted to do a cool thing because I've never seen a mirror before, and you guys were being all mirror-like, so I was like, fuck it.
So, Amethyst is going to turn up tonight. You're going to meet her somewhere. She's not wearing her, not that she is a comic book character who wears the same clothes every day. She, unlike you, has a wardrobe.
We
I
don't
got
even
some
have
of my wardrobe.
We've been kicked out of the supposed home that we have, right? We don't have anything. Literally.
So but she shows up wearing something outside of her wardrobe by a long yard. Because she shows up wearing like a full trench coat with like a hat and her hair is all tied in and like hidden. And like she still looks small. Like she doesn't. This doesn't make her look like a huge dude in a trench coat or anything, but she could pass as a dude, like with what she's wearing. Seems to be some amount of the attempt.
The moment I see her, I'm just like, first day on the job, Slick.
Don't start, please. Don't start. I want this.
What's with the get up? You look like someone who just joined the force.
I'm sick of babysitting, so I actually want to get this shit done. The first time the plan was for you guys to waste your night, bumping into each other and being scared about vampire killers, and then that turned into a whole fucking thing that was actually real, and so that blew up in my face. And so I've decided to stop dicking around and trying to make fun and just get it over with. So we're gonna actually try and fucking do something that just gets you guys on the good radar, and we can be done.
All right, I'm fucking for this shit. Let's go. What do you have in mind?
All right, the first thing you have to do is fucking get some shit like this. And she tugs at her trench coats. I don't have more than one. Go break into like a private detective clothing store or something.
I look around and everyone is like, I don't know anyone who wears that shit. And I actually
it's not about. It's not about.
I look pretty good.
It's not about this. It's about something that hides who you are, but also is not like a fucking shrub.
Right. So you want us to look conspicuous,
we need to
but
be
inconspicuous. Is that
we
what
need
you're
to be.
trying to say?
We need to be incognito. It doesn't matter if we draw attention, just as long as people don't know who we are by looking at us Hawaiian shirt.
Fair. Okay. I'm pretty sure there's a Sears nearby.
There is. We've talked about the
Yay! I love Sears. That's where I get all of my clothes.
It shows.
Yep. Because it's awesome.
Yeah, let's find a clothing establishment and take things.
So I'm gonna go the incognito. The only way cops know how to go incognito. Civvy clothes, hoodie.
Right,
jeans.
right. The like, I am a hello, fellow hoods. I am a hood.
Yeah. Hello, fellow drug dealers. How's them drug dealings going?
Just have a paper bag that says drugs and like magic marker written on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. But before we get to how you guys decide to go incognito, let's actually do the breaking into a clothing store. So you're heading to the Sears near your nearby.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. That'll have it's a warehouse type. It's a department store type clothing retailer, so it'll have a large selection of choices and options. It will also probably have an alarm.
Use your illusion powers. Make the alarm not be an alarm.
I'm not sure that's how that works.
Make it think that it is a sandwich.
But I can use my...
Just real quickly, wreckage. Out of curiosity, can we have full blood?
Let me check just to see where you guys were at. No, I gave you like a bunch of blood at the end because the last one was an arc. Yeah, you have whatever you have.
Okay, but we've had a couple of days, that's all. So.
All right, well, you didn't say that you spent those days feeding. You spent them training, so you did one or the other. And if you had spent them feeding, we would have played and rolled for feeding.
Okay, I assumed it was one and the same because I need blood to spend blood. So.
Right, you said I go out of my way to feed so that I have enough blood to mess with my powers, but I essentially, that means you broke even. Basically.
Okay, that's fine. I'll accept that. So I'm just making sure.
So can I try to disable the alarm?
Sure, you sure can. It's not even that big of a deal because it's just a fucking Sears, right?
Yeah,
It's not
I see
not
you
a
like
bank
picking
vault.
the lock or whatever, and I'm just like, I grab like a fucking brick off the road and just hock it through the fucking.
No, he's saying he needs to disable the security system,
Yeah.
not just get inside. Right. So that is a intelligence technology roll.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, that's gonna be 8 dice.
Nice.
right. But
Watch him
there's gonna
fucking suck and die because it's more.
There's
than
going
three.
to be 2 rolls here, just to clarify. So
Okay.
the first one is to identify and comprehend the security system, not to disable it. Then there will be a roll to disable it,
To
which will be
actually disable
to affect. This will affect whether or not your next roll is also like difficulty 9 or some shit.
it. Is it a difficulty 6 to start with, though?
Yep, this one's just normal.
Jesus
Holy
fucking
shit.
criminy.
What the ballsack?
What in the shit?
How did that happen?
That doesn't even make sense.
Well, that's a botch.
What the fuck happened?
That's a colossal botch.
We're just trying to get clothes.
But you botched with an 8 dice.
God damn it.
Hate
4
this
ones?
game. God.
How did that happen? It's -2.
I've been rolling too good. Nightbeer's right. It's fucking karma. I've been rolling too good for the past 14 weeks in this game. It's fucking karma. That is the worst roll we have seen, I think.
I mean, to be
Yeah.
fair, you botched on. I want to see what that thing is, so it's
Yeah.
not going to be.
Oh no, it's a botch. Like all botches are gonna blow up in your face. Yeah, as long as they feasibly can. And in this case, the botch for trying to identify the security system is they don't have a security system. That's weird. So then Damien picks up the brick and smashes the window.
Yeah.
And then
I got a great idea. Actually, you know what? I got a fucking fantastic idea. I just turned to everyone. I'm just like, all right. Before I smash the window, I turn around and say, right, you guys stay out here. I'm gonna go get you clothes because
I'm not letting you pick out my clothes.
motherfucker, listen to what I'm saying.
You wear a Hawaiian shirt every day.
I don't want you to pick out my
Absolutely.
clothes either, says Rodney, who's here.
Oh, hey, Rodney.
Well, all right. If you guys go in, you'll be seen by the camera. I won't. So who gives a fuck what you?
There's
guys
no
think?
security system. He just said.
There's a camera right there.
No, there isn't.
Whatever. All right, fine. I just fucking hock a fucking brick through the window. I casually walk in. I ain't got nothing to worry about.
The alarms immediately go off.
I
What the hell?
I go over to the
Brayden,
first.
you said there wasn't a security system.
Well, I mean, sometimes they must have hit it really well. What can I say? I mean, I can't be awesome all the time.
I thought this was your thing.
It is my thing. This is something new. Sears is on the cutting edge of technology. I mean,
I'm already walking
have
in
you
there,
seen their
taking a
catalog?
mannequin's entire fucking outfit wreckage and just walking out. Like it
Yeah.
does. Like I pick up the mannequin, I just walk out with all the clothing on it. I don't give a fuck what it is. It doesn't matter. I'll take the whole mannequin. It's got a hoodie on it. It's got a fucking pinstripe fucking shirt.
So as long as it has a hoodie on it, you take the whole mannequin.
That's right.
All right. That won't end badly.
those are in the back of the store, all the way in the back.
No, it's just he didn't really pay attention, and it's a female mannequin with female clothes.
Bitch, you
that
can't
just happens
fucking
to have
do
a-
that. I can't fail on his botch. Come on,
You
man.
can too. If you're gonna not that you are, but when you follow it with I just grab whatever, that's when I have carte blanche to fuck with you.
Fine. I grab the first male mannequin and take.
So
whatever.
what kind of what kind of area is this? Like, is it more specifically?
It's
Is
got
this
a
an area?
Sears, so it must be classy.
Is this an area where the cops are going to show up in a minute, or do we have some time?
It's World
The
of
cops
Darkness.
always take forever. Yeah, cops are always very late in World of Darkness. So you have many minutes. But what I would say is that they care a lot more about a international chain being broken into than mom and pop shop, right? Like,
Sure.
because somebody's paying the police a little bit of extra money to actually protect it.
those Sears.
I mean, not
the Roebuck family.
look, man. Look, don't overplay it.
I'm being facetious.
Alright.
Yeah. So I'm usually wearing some sort of bigger jacket or whatever. Anyway, like with the art. So like I'll just like kind of put that up over my head and like put my hands into my sleeves and just run in and go to like the female section and just grab some bigger clothing since I don't have time to like look around.
Right. Braden, any
Yes.
particular goal with your clothes thefting?
I want to get the season's hottest fashions, but that also make me look like a thug.
So you want the 50 Cent fucking fashion line?
Yeah.
So it's basically a basketball jersey.
Yeah, like a big basketball.
Basketball jersey.
That says
Alright,
G
sure.
Unit.
It says G Unit on it.
I mean, she did say you have to hide your face with this, so you'll assume also get a hoodie.
Yeah, I'll get
All
a
right.
hoodie and oh wait, do they have ski masks?
It's
Why not? 'Cause
incognito.
it's
It's not
Southern
daylight
Yes,
robbery.
yes, they do have ski masks. So you're gonna walk around wearing a ski mask in the world of darkness.
A ski mask with a basketball jersey.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, well,
yeah.
Only the
maybe
hottest
not-
fashion.
Okay, no, I'll do a hoodie, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do a hoodie.
Okay. Perfect. Right. So, then you guys just like bail and go rendezvous with Amethyst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, no, catastrophe there. Except, you're rendezvousing with Amethyst. You got the clothes, like maybe you rendezvous with Amethyst. Maybe you change in your new get-ups. Braden specifically, you like actually did grab the hottest, latest fashion for thugs.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the hottest, latest fashion for thugs is pants that are too wide and don't have a belt.
Right.
So, for as long as you're wearing this disguise, you're going to take a -1 to dexterity and finesse rolls.
God damn it.
As it
Okay.
is tangled around your ankles, and you spend the whole time trying to keep it up.
So I can't like put a belt on?
You didn't grab a belt.
I mean, I have a belt on my regular clothes, don't I? Let's
his
check the fan art,
His
shall we?
pictures do have a fucking
It
belt.
does technically. You have been drawn with a belt, but the latest fashion for these oversized clothes don't even have belt loops. There you go. So a
Got
belt
him.
couldn't possibly. Yeah. Yep. Got him.
Got him.
Got
him.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
Aracito was gonna save my ass just then.
He was, but I'm
But
too
Record
clever.
said, "Fuck you, Aracito." Did you hear that?
That is not what I
Did you
said.
hear that? That totally just happened right now.
Got him.
Right. So anyway, you're all dressed radically differently than usual, and your hoodies, which was what all three of you went for, will do enough to obscure your face. As long as you tighten them up and pull.
Well,
them up
I
a little
usually wear hoodies, so I'm thinking I got some sort of just different jacket with a big collar and then like a hat.
Well, yeah, okay, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, because like hoodie jacket like bum chic is my usual thing.
Rodney shows up. He took a sheet out of the bedding section and cut 2 eye holes in it.
Thumbs up
So-
from fucking Damien. That's like, yeah, can I get a 411 on a fucking ghost?
He's like a Charlie Brown Halloween
Yes.
special ghost. Oh my god!
Except for without the extra holes, right?
Hey, all the extra ones all over.
Well,
it?
see, the thing is, he could wear a clown costume and people still wouldn't notice him.
Yes, but he doesn't know that. Or does he?
Yeah, well, he has to be aware of it because he did the whole bringing us out of the wizard's palace.
Yeah, he did do that. He did do that, but at what point did he show any awareness? Like
When he was putting sticky notes on our faces and we were like, where did this sticky note come from?
maybe he was just being goofy.
Fuck you. You can't make that joke.
Anyway, right. So Rodney wears a sheet with some eyes cut out of it, and Amethyst doesn't say anything because and she knows that he can just turn invisible, regardless of if he knows that. She's like, all right, well, somehow you managed to turn that into a thing.
Everyone just stares at Brayden.
Hey, well, we got our clothes, didn't we?
Technically.
Yeah, right. So we're a little bit incognito. Okay.
Pop the collar.
Right. So here's what we're doing. Well, let's walk and talk. And we're going to take a taxi this time because I'm not just trying to waste your time. But let's talk a little bit before we get in the taxi because we don't want to talk in the taxi and have the cab driver over here, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
We're headed to Chinatown.
Great food there. There's great food.
You don't need any more, dude.
There's another faction of vampires that you guys haven't heard about yet. They're called the Kui Jin. And they're vampires from China. That's all it is. All of the vampires in China are Kui Jin. They're all a united singular faction. And much like, say, the mafia, wherever the Chinese criminal interests go, so do the Kui Jin. They're starting to... Usually, they're in Chinatown, and that's fine. And we have an armistice, like there's no open war between Anarchs and Kui Jin. They're starting to do some suspicious things. Nothing that anybody else would want to get their hands dirty with. But you guys have the super awesome hidden secret power of being able to be completely disavowed by the Anarchs if we get caught. So, because they're pretty much, they don't trust you, and everybody knows it's an open secret that nobody trusts you. Anyway, don't get caught, because if you do, you'll definitely die and also be horrendously tortured beforehand, probably. I don't know what those fuckers do.
Great.
I can't really be caught, so I'm not a risk here. Just, be careful. Because failure here does mean that you are going to experience final death. We're going to go into Chinatown. We're going to rough up some mortals. Like, we don't want to fucking run into the Kui Jin and make it a vampire thing. We just want to try and learn some genuine, normal, criminal activity type. What are they doing? Who needs to be beaten up to find out what they're doing? Find a shipment or something that we can fuck over and fuck with. And then you guys can be the guys at Elysium who helped weaken the Kui Jin's presence in Chinatown.
If you told me this maybe 2 days ago, I could have had a lot more for you to work on.
No, you couldn't have. You could have fucked it up, which is all you ever do.
That's fair.
So
no, it's fucking not fair. You're completely out of bounds. You're stepping into police work here, and you have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
This isn't police work. This is crime turf work. The police don't care about.
I literally just I look at her and just like.
You are a homicide detective. What do you think gang police actually do?
Vice? I do lots of things, and they're almost one and the same. In fact, I had a stint in Vice. Not long. I had better opportunities working with corpses than most fucking living people, but that's besides the point.
just to clarify, this would actually be organized crime unit, not the vice unit. Sometimes they're one and the same, I guess. Depends on the department. LA would have a dedicated organized crime unit.
All right.
Which would just all be about anti-mafia, anti-gang, like anti,
Fair.
larger scale. I thought gang police did cocaine. Yes, they do, which is why they're not very good at their job in the world of darkness, because they mostly, as it was put in Baby Driver, have a nasal problem.
So yeah, I turned to Braden and I was like, Braden, how about you do some of that stuff you like to do and, see if you can jack a police line. See if we can find anything about gangs going off in that area. How about that? That's a good fucking start. Instead of roughing up fucking civvies. Like we don't give a shit.
We don't give a shit.
I give a shit.
Well, get over it.
I mean, I'll do whatever, and I like wink at Amethyst.
Don't make it gay. All right, just don't.
It's not gay.
Look, I'm hailing a taxi. We're going to physically go there. If you want to also listen to a police blotter, which is fine, I don't think there's going to... Until we start doing stuff, I don't think they're going to be talking about anything. But, you're welcome to do whatever you want, except for die or get captured. And also, if one of you gets captured and I have the opportunity to ash you before, you can talk, I will probably take that opportunity. Just so we're all aware of what's... Also, if somebody else gets captured and you have the opportunity to kill them, it would look better for you if that... So yeah, anyway, let's go. Taxi!
Taxi
stops for her. She's not a racial minority. Scathing criticism of LA in the 90s. You guys can all get in the taxi.
Okay, taxi time.
All right, you guys taxi to Chinatown. It is a silent taxi cab drive, unless somebody wants to...
It doesn't make that sound?
No.
Oh.
Right.
Is that a jalopy from the 40s?
No. This is not
You
Mafia
hail
2.
chitty chitty bang bang. I'm on thin ice with Amethyst, so I don't say anything.
Great, excellent, best decision you've made ever.
I just like steal glances at her though every once in a while.
I'm on the verge of saying something that, yeah, I just got this fucking look of fucking contempt. Like, the moment she leaves is the moment we're not doing what she wants us to do, in my opinion. But I'm not going to say anything while she's here. And the moment she fucks off is the moment I can actually do proper work. So,
well, if everyone else is going to be super mean and cold to everyone else, I'll look at Rodney and say, so Rodney, what have you been up to the past couple of days?
I don't remember.
What?
I don't remember.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Did anything happen to you? Or I guess you don't.
I don't remember.
Right. Okay. I start to check for like head damage, and then wait, no, he's a vampire. He could just. Okay. I guess as long as you're okay, that's good.
He's just sitting in the taxi chair, like bouncing up and down, like he's really excited.
Okay, good. How about you, Amethyst? Anything cool the last couple of days since we've seen each other?
She sort of turns over, like rolls her head, and Damien's being super cold, and Braden's like scared to say anything, and Rodney's bouncing in his chair.
I never said I was scared.
Okay, well, you're cold is the point. And she just sort of like looks at you and is like, It's not making it any less awkward, sweetie. You should just.
Okay.
And she turns back to look outside the window as you guys are going. And then we get that shot of like we were in the taxi. And I'm getting that echo again, Dave. We were in the taxi. I know, and it wasn't even happening before, and you have clearly not changed anything in the minutes since it started. Anyway, we get that shot where the camera is in the taxi while you guys are having that conversation, and then the camera like magically moves out of the back window and pans out to watch the taxi driving along, and then ooh, you're in Chinatown. Ooh, it's got all of the Chinese like things.
When Braden said they have great food there, I pictured him doing a thing like Michael from The Office, where he like points to a Panda Express. It's my favorite Chinese place.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
It's so authentic.
There's all of the we get the standard like Hollywood, what Hollywood thinks Chinatown looks like, which could very well be what Chinatown looks like, but just an overabundance of like neon giant Chinese signs with all of the characters and etc. And like just one-to-one from one block to the next, there's suddenly no English, and also an overabundance of Chinese advertisements and like actual rickshaws for some reason, like in just this part of town. And basically she has the taxi just pull over like off of sort of Main Street, I guess, the actual sort of back alleys and apartment complexes of Chinatown, like the real Chinatown, you know what I'm saying? Like presumably you guys get out and the taxi drives away.
The moment we get out, I sort of turn to Amethyst. I'm like, yeah, so what fucking minorities are we going to beat the shit out of today? You'd make a great cop, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Why is it always minorities with you?
Well, we're in Chinatown. I mean, that's not such a leap for him.
Well, so
if we beat someone
in Chinatown, we're the minorities because we're not Chinese.
Is it bad being a minority?
Inception.
Is it?
He's saying that you have an overabundance of encounters with the police, which is not untrue. But he's making it about this, even though we're criminals and doing a criminal thing right now. I don't get it, personally. I think he's just got to stick up his butt, as usual. I probably put it there. My bad.
Well, I just want to point out your fucking flawless plan, by the way. To get us out of the shit is to put us into the shit, and then the moment that we fail, you're going to fucking disown us and say that it was all our plan anyway. So as far as I'm concerned... Yeah, great. And then
if we succeed, you succeed and get all of the accolades and positives.
Your fucking plan is to stir shit. You want to kick the fucking bee's hive and then say, good luck, motherfuckers. That's your plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough said.
I like this plan, Amethyst. I think it's brilliant.
Kiss ass.
No, okay, fine. It's a fucking shitty plan. It fucking sucks, and you should be sad.
I like hand him a napkin and just say, you want to wipe your fucking nose a little bit? You got a bit of shit on the front there.
Rodney's like, so where do we go first? This is like it's like a family vacation. Let's see the sights.
I would have loved to meet your fucking family if this is the type of vacation that you take.
Are there sites in Chinatown?
Well, Google
is there Chinese Disneyland here?
I don't know. I don't know.
Why don't we try and find some fucking underground parlor or something like that and take a fucking swing at a couple of locals, see what happens. Like, that's Amethyst's plan, right?
Yeah, that is my plan. Only I have thought about it a little bit more than you think I have. So
Really?
a couple
Please
streets
enlighten
down, there's a office, and the office is the LA location for a less than legal shipping company that does most of its business in China, and is basically the person that you would talk to if you wanted to get something shipped illegally and unchecked by port authority across the Pacific into LA specifically. So we're just gonna bust in and get some information, maybe from files, maybe from computers. Braden could be useful for once in his life.
What do you mean for once?
Or if we find some overworked, underpaid, underappreciated sack of shit there in the middle of the night, we can rough him up for answers.
Well, in my experience, literally every person in this world is a saint.
It's true. So far, every NPC that you've encountered who would be a neutral individual has rolled such that they are a moral individual.
I did forget.
Amethyst is correct in thinking that if you encountered someone here, they would be a nefarious individual, and therefore there wouldn't be a role for them to turn out to be a moral individual.
Okay, well, sounds like a plan.
Lead the way, P.I. Dick. Let's do this.
A large portion of the streets and sidewalks in Chinatown, in LA, in the world of darkness, not necessarily the real world, are sort of, they aren't really streets or sidewalks in the American sense. They have been very heavily, like, they imitate very heavily Chinese layouts for cities, which means like large cobbled squares or tight alleys that don't really come together as like a grid layout for streets or anything like that. It's much more like open and flowy, and this building is just here because that's what looks nice, and then this building is here because that's all the space that's left, and so there's like 20 buildings on top of it. And there are a couple of like overly stylized with the sort of shingled walls around a like temple looking place type thing going on. But it's just a tea house, you know? There's a lot of that as you pass through, you know, Chinatown proper. And she leads you to I have to name a Chinese company in this moment, so please bear with me for a second. Shenko?
Sure. That works.
Shenko Shipping.
There we go.
China Corp. Fucking fake. God damn it.
What happened?
China Corp.
Right. China, Illinois.
That was a good show.
Shenko Shipping. It's, in this case, it is very near one of these overly stylized and beautified Chinese buildings. You know, maybe even it might be like somebody's manse or something. Like, it's really nice. This, however, is just one of these stack buildings that looks straight out of almost even like a cyberpunk setting or something, where it's so shitty and corporate and slopped together. There's also clearly people like living on some levels, but also just, you know, Shenko, hey, here it is. And that's the ground floor. At least, I mean, the door on street level has the sign for Shenko. And it's an automatic sliding door, and Amethyst just walks in.
I will follow her.
I'm right behind her.
Inside, it's not dirty, but well, I guess it is dirty in that it's not well kept. It's not like frequently dusted, but it has been beautified. Like there is a linear space carpet from the door to the elevators. There are like vases on plinths. There is an attempt to be decorated, but those decorations have not been cleaned and kept up. You see what I'm saying? Sure. And there is a building registry on the wall next to the elevators, and it's very sporadic. It's like the first 3 floors are Shenko, and then there's a floor of apartments, and then Shenko, and then Shenko, and then apartments and apartments and apartments and Shenko, then apartments and Shenko. Like it's, for some reason, it's the entirety of this building is just randomly laid out instead of, you know, one right after the other, and while you can walk into the lobby just free and clear, the elevators don't turn on without a key. But you do have, like, the first floor is a reception area for guests, and there is an office for like a secretary there, right there, to you know, have guests wait and then be sent to where they need to be sent to. And the place is empty as far as you can tell.
Can I look look around the desk to see if there's like a button that activates the elevator? Like if a guest comes in, or maybe there's like guest key cards or something.
Sure. It's not key carded, it's key, just for the record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can look around for that. Let's make that a roll, and let's do that by looking at your stats and saying that this is probably a perception investigation check.
All right. This probably won't be very good. God damn it. I'm usually really good at those 2 dice rolls.
Yeah, I thought you would be better at that one.
Okay.
But there is no botch here. Oh, I suppose there could be.
Sure.
Okay, I'm just gonna lay this out here. Braden, you have all the power in the world to make this not a botch, and all the power in the world to make it a botch.
All right.
You find a button under the secretary's desk.
Mm-hmm.
It's unlabeled though.
Okay.
What could go wrong?
So you're asking me basically, do I push or not push the button?
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Can I see if there's like any wiring going anywhere?
I mean, the desk is integrated. It's integrated like with a computer. It's nice. Like it's a nice desk. So it's the button could turn on the computer. It could open the elevator. It could flip the wall, and there could just be money there.
Maria, Damien, Amethyst.
Yeah.
I found a button over here.
Okay.
Should I push it? Should I push it?
What does it say? What it does?
Well, no.
Then you don't
Then-
fucking push it.
Yeah, I would not push that button.
But I mean, he could like do something really awesome.
I want you to
Helps
think
out.
long and
How many-
hard about how many times you've been inside of any sort of front-facing operation where there's a button underneath the desk, and I want you to think real long and hard about what those buttons generally do.
It like opens up doors and stuff.
No, you fucking idiot! It calls the fucking cops. It sets off a secret alarm. What the fuck? Do I really have to explain this?
Do you
shit to
really want to set off 2 alarms in one night?
Well, no, but I mean, like, why would the receptionist have an alarm? That doesn't make sense.
Because
Because
that's
it's-
how it fucking works. Because she's the front. If someone like you walks in and starts shooting in the air with a gun, and what she's gonna do? Pick up the phone and call security? No, she pushes the secret button underneath the desk that silently alerts security within the building to come down, or police, or the fire, whatever.
Then how about this? How about I unscrew the case for the button?
How about you just
And
leave it
snip
the
all
fuck
the wires.
alone? Why
Then
would-
why would you do that? You could just not push it.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but this way I could push the button and it won't do anything.
But you
No.
could just not push it and it'll do nothing.
Yeah, but I really like pushing buttons.
I've noticed.
Rodney, Rodney is there with the ghost uniform on still, and he goes, push it, push it, push
Rodney,
it.
Rodney wants
Rodney,
to push
no.
it.
Rodney, no.
But
We like Rodney. We trust him. Right?
I want
This is true,
push it, push
but we
it,
don't need the
push
police
it.
here while we're breaking into a building.
Besides, it's probably not the police. Remember, this is an illegal operation. That's the
Right,
button
yeah,
they
it's
why
push.
would the
probably
cops
worse.
come?
That's the button they push when a police officer comes in and is
Right,
like,
it's
I need
probably
to...
worse. They're probably going to send some sort of enforcer
what'll
here.
happen is like well, are we trying to like rough people up anyway? I don't see anybody around here.
No, we are here to find information.
Which we can do if nobody's here. Push it, push it, push
Just,
it, push
Brayden,
it.
I mean, and please, just come back from around the desk. Don't push it.
See, I'm very much like Braden in this regard. I'm not sure if I'll be able to sleep tonight after this show if I don't push this fucking button.
Please don't.
Okay, hold on a second. It's the top of the hour. Let's go to break. And Brian can emotionally figure out what he's gonna do here, because I knew all I had to do is say you find a button and you wouldn't just not push it. So let's
Bye.
see.
Bye.
Well, rather, Braden, take it away. What have you? What the situation is exactly what we left.
I just have one last question.
Sure.
If I don't push this button,
Uh-huh.
will you tell me later what would have happened if I push it?
I think you're trying to offload this decision on me with this question.
No. I want to know. If I don't push the button, will you personally tell me what would have happened if I had pushed it?
There will be more than one in-game opportunity to learn what this button would have done without pushing it, but I will not promise to tell you what it does.
I pushed the button. Sorry, I have to. I can't not know.
Okay.
It's more Brian than Braden at this point. I pushed the button.
So first and most importantly, Damian, Maria, Amethyst, Rodney, with everyone except for Rodney telling you not to push the button, like you push the button.
Yeah, I know it's bad. It's bad.
So before anything does or doesn't happen, I just want to know, like, internally or vocally, what the reaction of Damien and Maria is, as, like, thinking or shouting or punching or killing? Maybe do you rip off Braden's head and give him final death?
I think just like a exasperated thing, like no words, just like what.
Well, maybe I did it like on the sly, like they didn't see me.
No,
push the button.
there's like a literal bloop, and you push it.
So
What? I didn't push it.
I feel like I gave you ample opportunity not to do this. So
You did give him so much opportunity to not do it.
I am going to, with my potence, bitch slap you across the room as hard as I can.
All right.
Good thing I trained that fortitude.
Yeah. Let's see.
I've been jumping off buildings.
Are you going to put blood into your strength before you use potence?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
This is more of a firing across the bow. You fucked up, son. But there's not many dudes who got my back in this world, but I still have to play my character sort of bitch slap across the room, you know?
Okay, so that means you would roll strength plus brawl plus 1.
Okay. Yep.
And Braden, you would roll stamina plus fortitude, which I guess in this case is stamina plus 1.
Is there remind me if I'm correctly, do we mod the dice pool? We do, right? Yeah. Dice mod.
In your case, you will roll
strength plus brawl plus 1. I got it, yeah.
Yeah.
I do just stamina pool mod 1.
Yep.
Holy Jesus.
Why do I only roll good when I'm fucking, teaching the puppy not to fucking bite? You know, like what's up with that? You know.
All right.
I did shit.
Braden, you take 4 bashing damage.
Bashing? I use potence, man. Okay, sure. Yeah.
He used fortitude though, so like.
Bashing is the X.
It's the dash.
The dash. Sorry. God damn it.
The slash. Actually, no. Like
the
this
slash.
One. This one. Backslash. Forward slash.
Yeah,
forward slash.
Yeah.
Slash.
Sloosh.
Buy me a Coke.
Anyway, but narratively, it also sends you tumbling into the wall, which, like actually breaking the wall. So now there's definitely a sign that someone's been here, regardless of if this button does anything.
Not my fault. Not my fault.
Amethyst is just pinching the bridge of her nose. But like nothing overt is happening.
All right. Well, we probably have a very limited amount of time here now.
Yeah, or worse, or I don't know. Maybe we should just turn and leave and come here another night and not bring Braden. And also, when we do eventually do whatever it is that's a good thing that gets everybody on your good side, we expressly say that Braden didn't help and should be killed.
Hey, all I know... I'm muted? No. All I know is that the only evidence that's been left behind was Damien smashing me into a wall. I just pushed the button. If someone could have checked his anger for just a little bit, I mean, who knows? This could be like a good button. Has anything bad happened yet?
Listen,
I don't see any
Braden,
bad.
I really like you, but if you do not stop talking, that unchecked anger is going to go even further, and I swear to God, I'll put my hand through you and push the button to make sure it did anything, okay?
I think you can only push it. I think it's a one-time push button.
We'll find out, won't we?
All right, guys. I can run away with super speed. You guys can't. if we're staying or not, I'm gonna leave it's your guys' call. You're the ones who are now have to deal with the repercussions of this fucking chucklefuck pushing the button.
I'm gonna stay.
Alone. Great. Everybody else, let's leave and see what happens to Braden.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
We haven't
yeah.
got time to be fucking around. Let's fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have a week and a half.
Yeah. Now let me just convince the entire population of vampires here in LA within a week not to kill me in a week. Good idea.
Sometimes, well, all right then. I guess ransack the secretary's office, and then we need to find a way up the elevator. Look for info still, and don't push any more buttons.
Did the button unlock the elevator?
No.
God damn it.
So what's stopping us from just climbing the elevator shaft?
Like, I guess technically nothing except for time, because, just because you can physically doesn't mean that doesn't take forever. And you'd have to wrench the elevator doors open. But I suppose you've already left evidence of your intrusion. So that's no longer something that you can avoid.
As long as we make it out that they got ransacked and it wasn't vampires, I don't think there's going to be a problem. Wreckage, I would like to do a shortcut, please, if possible, and use my detective prowess for investigating a scene to find information about the going-ons as what's actually happening in this place. And, for example, if this is a front, which it most likely is, there is probably information somewhere about this sort of shit. That's the angle that I'm going for with this investigation roll, if you allow me to do it.
You can make an investigation roll, perception investigation.
Great. I will do just that. What the fuck is investigation on this list? Oh, it's down the bottom.
Yeah, there you go.
And you know what? I could potentially use Daredevil for the first time in ever and actually climb that fucking vent if it comes down to it, which would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
One success. Jesus fucking Christ.
So from what Amethyst told you, this place isn't a front so much, because it's not like it's a legitimate business that then
Well, I mean,
has...
it's a front for better, they're not just doing okay, you clearly can't bring those illegal immigrants across this border. We're going to allow you to do that. It's still a shipping company that just does illegal shit, right? So
right, this one is this isn't your investigation role. This is just what you've already sort of been told. Shenko is an Italian restaurant that happens to also cook the books for the mafia is a front. Shenko, everybody, even the Port Authority, just knows that they are mostly a criminal organization.
So what the fuck are we doing here? Are we trying to rouse the suspicion of the Asian vampire community?
You're trying to find out what is going on, because you actually have no idea. This is purely information gathering. As far as what you can find in the secretary's office...
There wouldn't be anything here then, because it's a secretary's office, right?
All right, it's a receptionist secretary's office, and there probably isn't anything in here, but with one success, I'll give you something. You can get into the secretary's computer, no problem. It's not password protected. And in that unpassword protected computer is an email to somebody else in the company. This is like a video game moment. The email to somebody else in the company is reminding them...
This is my Deus Ex Machina sequence, where I just
This email to somebody else in the building is... The email contains that other person's password, reminding them what it is. So, you now know that like Tobashi's password is like, Ren Dog 119 or something, like anyway, it goes into your mission objectives. Like, I have a password for Tobashi's computer.
Okay, that still doesn't help us get to the computer.
No.
All right, well, I don't know about you guys, but there's very little we can do down here. So unless you want to sit here and do nothing, I suggest either some of you try and find the key. I'm going to climb up the shaft and see what I can find up there.
Kay, Amethyst, like, opens the doors for you. And it's, it's an elevator shaft.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, though the building manifest doesn't say so, there are clearly levels below ground level.
Okay. Is it like... Does the elevator state that there are levels below?
You're not in an elevator, so you don't know. The elevator isn't at ground floor.
Okay.
So you're just in a shaft.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the elevator does have, like, 1B, 2B for, like, basement levels, but the building manifest is like Shenko, apartments, Shenko, and that's all up.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll go down. Seems like... I mean, my detective intuition is not a thing I have in real life, but Damien would have it. So
Sure.
Is there anything you can give me in that regard?
Yes, the basement levels are suspicious.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as I am on a time crunch here before whatever that button did happens or something, like maybe there is no time crunch at all. You do know that there are computers and files and there is information for sure upstairs, whereas downstairs is like tantalizing and might be something. It also might just be like storage and janitor stuff, like you could whiff, basically. That's basically your detective mind is what it says to you.
What would be an easier feat, climbing up or jumping down?
Well, it's certainly easier to jump down, but you'd have to climb back up to ground floor to leave. I guess so you would get to the basement levels quicker by just jumping down. Mm-hmm. But also, that's only true if you want to go to the very bottom level. If you wanted to stop at any of the levels along the way, then you have to, shimmy down to that level and swing over and open the door, which is just as hard as climbing up to...
Is there any way that my tentacles can help with this feat at all?
This feat isn't really something that you're going to fail. It's just something that's going to consume time.
Okay.
And the tentacles won't really speed up that process much at all.
I mean, they might be able to throw me up. I don't know.
Not really. Not further than you yourself could jump in the first place.
Sure. All right. Well, keep in mind I have Daredevil for this. It's a non-combat feat of whatever.
Sure.
So let's go down first, because if they're hiding a fucking giant hole in the earth that leads to fucking
China.
Yeah. Well, not China. I was referencing Daredevil there, so don't fucking think that's a racist or anything like that. But
no, but that's definitely where, they're digging a hole in China. So then they'll have the hole and they'll just pour out. They'll just pour out of the hole.
That's how holes work.
Well, yeah. I also think that there's a good possibility that maybe I go down there and I find like a vampire nest or something like that too. Like where
all the eggs are.
Yeah, right.
Well, all the I don't know what you'd call it, like a place where vampires sleep.
The clutch of vampire eggs.
No, where the vampires sleep, right?
Undulating. And then if you walk near them, it bursts open and a vampire...
Okay, you're not listening anymore, so I'm not even going to bother talking or trying to elaborate on my fucking scheme. So I go down, Wreckage.
Right. All right. So the queen vampire shows up.
Sweet. I mate with her, and I make a offspring vampire that's both that Asian clan and La Sombra. And there we go. New vampire.
Kuijin and La Sombra.
Kui Sombra.
Right. So, which one did you say you were going down to?
Well, I don't know anything about the
Excuse me.
I don't know anything about the basement floors, so I'd probably check each one.
Below ground floor, there are 3. They are not evenly spaced, but there are 3 places for an elevator, where like elevator doors are.
Probably easier to jump all the way down than make my way up than it is to try and slowly make my way down. So
All right, so just bottom level first.
Yep.
Sure. So you, so Damien is leaping down to the bottom level of the place. What is Maria, Braden, sorry. What are you 2 of my other player characters doing?
I would like to try going up.
Okay. This is more difficult for you than Damien. You don't have Daredevil. You don't have Potence. You don't have much athletics and brawl. You are still a vampire, so you can pump the relevant stats.
There's probably also a ladder.
There isn't.
Fucking, of course there wouldn't be. It's World of Darkness. Why would they have a ladder in the elevator shaft?
No,
So,
that would be like a safety feature.
Well, so I'm sorry. What was the reason we can't call the elevator?
You don't have the key.
So the actual elevator buttons, in order to call it, there's a key, like right in between the buttons that you actually have to turn before the buttons work.
Oh.
Because because the lobby isn't private, but the building is.
Okay. And we tried searching the desk for the key, or was that part of his role to search to find things?
He was searching for information specifically, so nobody has searched for and key.
I would like to search for and key.
Okay. Braden searched for and key and botched, and that's how he found and button. That completely drew his attention. So a successful perception investigation might yield and key or information about and key.
Auspex?
Auspex is first level is not for finding things though. That's for like evaluating people.
No, that is not true. Auspex first level is only your basic senses. Auspex second level is people.
Is it?
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you turn Auspex on, then yes, you get the point.
All right.
But Auspex is always doesn't cost anything to turn on, so I don't know why it's not always on. So.
Because if you have Auspex on and somebody flashbangs you, the flashbang is more effective. If you have Auspex on and somebody uses mind control on you, that's perception based, it's more effective. Like Auspex, you usually have Auspex on. I guess really you should be just careful about when you turn it off, I guess. So you don't find a key because there isn't just one lying around.
Oh.
However, you do you do find you do find out where the key is.
It's behind that vampire-proof glass over there.
Damn it.
just like remember, all the glass with a red outline is vampire proof.
Yeah, it's just like demon-proof glass. You know, like it's a thing. Like fucking Doom. The latest Doom is just fucking perfect. Anyway, please continue.
So what you get is like
vampire invasion in progress.
It's another like cheesy video game-esque, like only a video game would have this exist, period. like, and it's like a note being like, "Oh, we need a new key for the elevator." And
This
it's
one
like,
cleanly snapped in half. If only we had some way of combining the two pieces together.
not quite that bad. It's more like there's an extra. Remember that there's an extra key in maintenance during office hours, and maintenance is on the basement level 3. So,
Okay.
yeah, right. So
Damien!
it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, grab the
Yeah,
key
basically
way down
that's it.
there. Okay.
That's basically what happens. Yes.
right,
Yeah, I
Dan-
walk over to the shaft. I put my hands like up, like
shaft.
Damien, there's a key down there in the maintenance closet.
You don't see me, but I hand wave. Or maybe
Right,
you do.
so
You
you
have
op-
Auspex.
So you open the door on the bottom level basement, and the bottom level basement is like the basement itself is only as wide as the building, and the building isn't like huge. It's a very thin and narrow building, all things considered. So this isn't a lot of space on this level, but it is about it takes up 2 levels worth of height. Like that, this was where one of the gaps between basement levels was. And it's just high concrete ceilings, and in between the floor and the ceilings are the sort of self-assembling, customizable like warehouse shelving units.
Self-assembly.
And well, like as in you don't need manufacturers to assemble it, like you can assemble it. And just like crates wrapped in plastic, and like maybe a bunch of water bottles on a thing. Like it looks like storage. And there's like one of those tiny, like personal, really low powered like forklifts. That's really just like like a thing that you cart over to a place and like almost like a jack, you crank it up and then pull it out. Like it's not like an actual forklift.
Sure.
And then there's a like in the back, there's a caged room. Like there's not an actual walls to make a room, but there's like a cage, and in there it looks sort of like a janitorial workshop type thing. Like there's some electronics out being worked on, and like there's some supplies and etc.
Yeah, I walk over to the cage and I'm just like, oh man, I wonder how we're going to get the elevator working when the only key's on the bottom floor of the elevator shaft. I also go over to the door. I assumed it's locked, right? The cage is locked.
No.
Okay, because
It's like you just open it and it swings open. It's like nobody would be down here who
I
shouldn't be
also
down here.
like the idea that I just wanted to keep sassing these fucking people. It's just like, yeah, lock the elevator key behind an elevator shaft, locked door, perfect security. So yeah,
That's how I do it in my house.
I'm gonna I grab the key wreckage. I also look for manifests about shippings and coming out, going, that sort of stuff. Is there any in there that like I'm just cursory glance, nothing spectacular.
The manifest that is here, and there is one here, is just about like how many nuts and bolts do we have? Like how many replacements for the hand soap in the bathroom do we have? It's the manifest for the janitor. All right. What now?
Well, is there any idea of a map of what's in the other basement areas in this janitorial thing? Because they would have a map or something.
No, they wouldn't, because they wouldn't need a map.
Okay.
They live and work here. It is not unlike the other things that have been very video gamey.
It's also
there
a
isn't.
corporation, so
Unlike the other things that have been extremely video gamey, there isn't level map found.
Well, to be fair, Wreckage, I worked in a company with 400 people, which I assume is a lot less than what this company is. I didn't even know where the fuck some things were. And they had maps on all the walls.
Well, that is a very
It's also Poland,
weird
which is
fucking
literally
thing. Yeah.
World of Darkness, as far as I'm concerned. So
Anyway, no, there isn't a map.
okay, great. Any idea that can I check what's in the floor? Okay, you know what? Fuck it. We'll go back up. I'll give the key. And then we'll go up to the floors with information. How about that?
All right, you have the key. You turn the key in the thing. The elevator will come to you. Now there's an elevator. Bing! Opens. It's a shitty elevator.
I get in. Is Amethyst still with us? Or should she leave?
She's here. Why would she leave?
Because you made it seem like she was leaving. Anyway, we get on and we go.
You guys get on the elevator. Who does or does not get on the elevator?
Elevator.
Yeah, elevator.
Looking like you're really thinking about that one, Braden.
Well, I was thinking about just kicking my feet up on the receptionist desk and waiting to see who shows up to the button push.
Right.
But I'll hop on you.
All right.
No, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna kick my feet up and be like, I push this fucking button. I'm gonna see what happens. God damn it.
What if nothing happens?
Well,
Then we will toast him at his funeral.
then Damien got mad at me for no reason, and he should feel bad.
I'm sure that's how it'll play out.
Yep.
All right. So now there are tons of levels that you could go to, some of which are apartments and some of which are Shenko.
Did this email that I saw have like a footer on it that gave me an idea of where he was located, like maybe accounting or something like that?
You know that Tobiyashi, who had the email password reminder, is a managerial position,
So
but
probably higher up, maybe
because the placards that have the Shenko apartments, none of those Shenkos are like labeled like accounting, management, or whatever. So like maybe it's the highest one, but actually the highest thing in the building is apartments. Like the top level isn't even Shenko. So
highest Shenko level. What level is that?
The highest Shenko level is the highest Shenko level.
What level in the building? I mean,
don't make me specify how many levels the building is. It's like 3 from the top.
We go to the 3 from the top. Highest Shenko.
Yeah. All right. We go highest Shenko.
Shenko. Where the Shens go.
Sure.
My God.
You've never played Doctor before, have you? The shins go other places. They go below the knee. So.
Righto. Anyway. Bing opens up. You see offices on this level. They're not like cubicles though. They're all walled and doored and labeled, like placarded offices. It's not super nice, but there's like a fern and
a water cooler.
There's a water cooler. It's Chinese, so there's one of those bamboo water features that fills with water and then clicks down every once in a while.
Holy fuck, wreckage!
What? There is
the wrong fucking race to begin with, but okay, that's cool.
Look, sure, but there is, okay? Because this is a 90s World of Darkness Hollywood interpretation of Chinatown. So there's one of those, even if it's completely inaccurate.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Maybe there's a weeboo in here. You don't know that. Like, maybe, it's fine. It's whatever. Anyway. I look for the office of Toby Shia.
It's Tobayashi. God, get it right.
Look, I'm an Irish man in the early 90s.
Are you?
Where's the Toshiba fella?
Oh God.
Yeah, there's a Toshiba.
Yeah, I'm looking for the guy whose password I have. So he's confused.
Oh, you mean Tobayashi? Well, there's a Toshiba, but there's also a Tobayashi. It's a good thing that you clarified that. Yeah, there's Tobayashi.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll go into his room.
I mean, you're gonna have to. Who cares? At this point, you've made it clear that somebody broke and entered.
Yeah, if
this door is just a door. Like you.
Yeah, I just fucking knock
Like,
the
if
fucking
you-
door handle off and just push the door open.
If you were human, Damien, you could literally just a little bit and it would go in. Like this is just a
Yeah, I put all my weight on the door handle, push it down, and it fucking breaks.
The point is you get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like there's a med kit in the corner, some ammo.
Nice, perfect.
Yeah, and there is his computer, which is conspicuously like on, and like every other computer's off.
Well,
It's just
how
not
far
even
away?
active.
How far away is the safe room?
Now I don't know which reference you're making.
Well, if the safe room isn't too far away, then we can just leave it. But if the safe room's pretty far away and I'm pretty low on health,
Just
I
keep
want
the
to use
pipe bomb. Just keep the pipe bomb. I'll do the computer. I'll hold down E. It's fine.
Okay. Have we found the next tier? Have we found the next tier of weapons yet?
That'll be in the safe room. We just got to do this first.
Okay,
We got to call
okay.
the horde. You know.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I hold down E. Wreckage.
So E is not the password to the computer, and it's like it's one of those
like
games.
Red Dog 497 or something like that. You said.
So close.
At the receptionist desk, Rodney, Braden's like, is someone just holding down E at a computer?
I feel like they're progressing the plot using game mechanics.
What? What? So yeah, you just but your objective screen, remember, just has the password. So you're like, fuck, I can't believe it just doesn't put it in for me. And so you pause the game, and then like you remember it's kind of complicated. You get it wrong like twice.
No. Here's the thing. I write it down on paper, but then when I go to put it into the thing, it autofills, and I was like, fucking game.
Piece of shit.
Piece of shit, like making me feel like an asshole. Writing down passwords on a real paper. Fucking modern games. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, you can put in the password. You have access to his computer. You are a detective.
Yes.
But you're a homicide detective, and you don't have any in computers. So I'm not saying you can't find it. It's just you don't immediately know where to look for the type of information that you're looking for. If only the person who had so many dots in computers.
Yeah, I like the
was
idea that
here.
there's like this dramatic music, and I pull up and I'm just like single finger typing, like. I press the caps lock as well to like do a capital, and then I press it again. You know, like. You know, I only recently taught my mother how to use shift.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You okay there, Cupcake?
Yeah. Wait, who's saying this?
Amethyst.
I'm
She's
just,
watching you like single type.
And it's like, look, I got the fastest typing speed in the whole PD. So you know, get the fuck off my back, all right?
Really?
If I yell down the elevator shaft, will they hear me?
No.
Uh,
Now there's an elevator between them and you.
uh,
Also, you have no idea that someone's using a computer poorly upstairs.
well, I know.
No, that's his curse. He knows when everyone's using a computer poorly, and it triggers him to no end. So
Like, did you try turning it off and back on again?
I won't get the password screen if I do that. Yeah.
So
that's what I think.
Maria,
Yes.
you are not extra computer savvy either. You don't have any dots in computer.
Au contraire.
Oh? Because I'm looking at your character sheet and I don't see anything.
I think it's,
I have two. I have two in technology.
Yes, you have 2 in technology. There is a skill called computers.
Oh fuck!
You have none in that.
Damn it! I thought I had. Damn it!
So, like, technology is like abstract technological stuff, and then computers is working with computers.
Damn it!
So you're great with medical equipment. I have no
Sure.
idea where those technology
using a
dots are coming from.
forklift.
But it's clear that Damien is not equipped to do this with any expediency. But he did just tell Amethyst to fuck off, and Amethyst is sitting there smirking like maybe she could do it better.
Yeah, you know what? She's like, hovering, and I'm just like, I wheel around. I was like, do you want to fucking do it then? You want to prove to me how much faster typer than you are than me? Because I got the placard and everything in my office.
Well, Damien, you're much better at finding, like, investigating and stuff. Maybe you could poke around the rest of the office, and we could handle the computer.
Oh yeah, what's the fucking password?
Well, didn't you write it down?
I stand up. I just rip off a piece of paper from my pad and just fucking push it into her chest. I'm just like, yeah, let's see how much faster you are, yeah?
Okay. All right, she sits down at the computer and uses celerity.
Can the computer keep up with celerity in the early 1900s?
Yes, it's like window, closed, window, closed, window, closed, window, closed, window, closed. Like she's and she's just sitting there and her eyes are darting back and forth. Like she looks like one of the androids from Ghost in the Shell. Who's, like interacting. When their fingers open up and they got like a gazillion typies.
So as I'm walking in, I'm just like, if she was a fucking human, I'd beat her.
And then he's like huffs off. All right. So now, also very video gamey, like a floppy disk comes out of the computer, and she's like, got it. Like the whole computer is on this floppy disk.
That was actually pretty cool.
Got it. The very first floppy disk of 7,000.
Look, we're using Hollywood rules here. This is just the floppy disk.
No, it's not. Right. It's not a 3.5 inch. It's a fucking like floppy disk. You know, the big fat ones.
Yeah.
That hold at least 6 megabytes.
I mean, we weren't using floppy disks in the early 90s. We were already on like
fuck you, I was.
CDs, right?
No, dude, I totally was using floppy disks. I remember
the whole computer is in this floppy disk. I
remember installing fucking games of floppies. You'd have like a stack of 10. You'd be like,
but see, also like you can tell that the whole computer is in this floppy disk because it's like green and it like she holding it in her hand, but it's really like floating and rotating on an axis like a video game item.
Yes.
You know, like
that took up like 3/4 of the space of all of the floppy disk. That little stupid thing. She ghosted the drive onto a floppy disk. Yes.
Right. So you guys have intel. Like, she's like, great, this is perfect. Like, we made way too much mess and called way too much attention to ourselves, and they know we've been here, but we're actually walking away with something that we can act on later. We should just leave before things get worse.
Good idea.
Do you think
things get worse?
Do you think it's worth covering our tracks at all, or maybe trying to steal something a little better than this guy has computed stuff?
We should just back off for now, unless one of you knows how to replaster a drywall.
Not in my skill set.
And also brought the exact color paint that wall used to be. Then I think we really just can't even hide that we've been here. So
I only have
just
egg shell.
I mean, we can hide the fact that there was something specific that we took.
We broke in it. We only broke in it. Okay, Damien, really quickly, go bust in all the other doors.
All right.
In the office, just so they don't know which office we went.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
That's about as best as we can do.
So what I do, Wreckage, is every single one, Potence just like fucking just grab the door handle and just fucking rip it off and just throw it down the hallway. Just keep wrecking.
Can he just All Might punch and all of the doors just fly off the walls?
I make tentacles that just go with a knife. Yeah, I give them each like a fucking Stanley knife, and they just run down the hallway, just going.
Right. Right. So, to set it up again, Amethyst says, "Now let's leave before things get any worse." And then things get worse.
Then they get better. What? Oh, okay.
Braden your feet are up on the door.
Yeah, I'm here to
on the-
report a silent alarm being tripped.
That I just accidentally kicked it with my foot. No big deal.
Oh, okay, bye.
Problem
wow.
solved.
That was a really good batch.
Here's a fine for accidentally calling the police department, but other than that, you're good, man.
Look, this wasn't. It wasn't even just a botch. It was a botch, and then I let him decide if it would happen or not, and he chose to make it happen.
This is the second edition Dungeons and Dragons confirming a fucking crit fail with role playing.
Right. It's like narratively right now, I could probably justify just hitting this building with an ICBM. Like that's how much narrative leeway Braden has given me. But instead, your feet are up on the desk, and you just see car lights pull up to the building. But they do that thing where it's like there's more than one set, and also the lights don't go off, and the cars don't like the lights just stay on, and like through windows and stuff you see other car lights pulling up and just lighting up the building.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, this is the scene from this is the scene from Die Hard when the overweight cop's just like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this, and then Damien throws a computer screen out.
Right.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah.
Can I use chemistry?
Chemistry. Yep.
I can never say that word.
Chemistry.
To make it look like everything is fine.
Here's the thing. The double doors, the automatic double doors that open in this lobby are glass double doors, so they've already just seen in and probably see you.
Okay.
So if you just suddenly like disappeared, I mean, maybe it would fly and maybe it wouldn't.
So how about I do this? I like kind of wave to him and lean farther back in the chair, purposefully making it so I fall backwards out of the chair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, whoa, like that. And
Okay,
when I hit
sure.
the floor, then I cast chemistry. So then they're like, did you just fall through the fucking floor? Where the hell did you go?
Sure.
And they
Okay.
get freaked out.
Okay. What do you now, because chemistry costs a willpower point,
Right?
and I don't just want to screw you out of a willpower point. When you cast the illusion that the wall is fine and you're not there, what are you gonna do when the elevator opens up and your friends pour out?
Throw the desk at them.
But then why did you make chemistry happen in the first place?
Because I want them to I don't want them to just fuck me up. They're gonna walk in and fuck me up.
So
They're not.
why don't you just make
Like I said, they're not doing anything.
why don't you just make chemistry, like, instead of fixing the wall and hiding you, why don't you just make it so that the windows, when they look in, just looks like a normal building with nothing happening on the inside?
Because they've already seen it.
Because they've already seen me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? No, you know what? I'm just gonna keep my feet up on the table and play it cool.
All right. Cool. Smooth like ice.
That's right.
So you guys get in the elevator. You go down the many floors to the lobby. When the doors open to the lobby,
The Matrix explosion goes off, everyone dies.
for the elevator door being blown along.
Yep.
Why did they?
Yeah, I don't know. That was the one part of the movie that's like, cool.
They blew up the lobby that they already beat everybody in.
Yeah, it was kind of dumb. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want people to come after them. I don't know.
So you guys, the elevator's doors open on the ground level, and everybody with a brain cell in their head immediately notices that, like, wow, the lobby's really lit up right now for some reason.
Right, there's headlights shining in.
Yeah, and you can sort of hear the engines idling and see through the other windows that there are, like, the building is surrounded.
Okay.
And Amethyst is like, God damn it. Oh, none of you guys have celerity either.
Braden.
So I'm just gonna
I push the button again.
I'm just gonna activate my shadow powers and.
Are you sure? Because nothing's happening yet. Or because you're trying to be shadowy and leave by yourself?
Just sort of, get out of the building at least.
Probably impossible. It will give you an extra dice to a stealth roll, but like it doesn't make you invisible.
Man, they really need to make that fucking power just meld into dark. I know that's like level 5 or something, right? I can't remember.
Right, but yeah, and you do get that later on. But like right now, because of all the headlights, there isn't even any like shadow.
Sure, yeah, okay.
So
if I was a sin eater, I could just turn off their car. Fucking can't do that here.
Nope.
I mean, if you were a specific type of sin eater who then also probably wouldn't have a stealth power, yes, you could.
Doesn't matter that the headlights would be off.
Right.
And then I could turn the car on and run them over with it. So there's that. Man, I just want to be sin eaters again. They had much better we can fuck with the world and the world can fuck back, but then we'd be okay. Anyway. Video games. I keep looking at this tentacle with a knife, by the way. Like, it's the best thing that's ever been invented.
Okay, so a bunch of cars. I'm assuming a bunch of people.
I got nothing. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I can just run the fuck out, but I think this is probably just, hopefully, fingers crossed, there aren't any Kuijin out there. It's actually just like, a syndicate. But that's a whole bunch of mortals with automatic weapons and shotguns.
Can I turn on Auspex and maybe see
probably
if
like
I can
katanas.
See if there's any sort of thing I can tell about what they're carrying. Maybe they're under maybe it's simply just a unbadged security guard doing rounds, responding to a beacon that went off or something like that.
It's like a dozen cars and Yakuza and syndicate looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're all dressed in suits. And they're all just standing next to their cars.
Isn't this what you wanted though? You wanted to fucking find some shit out about these people? Maybe crack.
Sure, but I didn't want to take on their criminal organization and make a huge battle out of it, and then even if we fight them to a win,
it's not that difficult. We go up, second floor, we jump out the window on the other side of the building.
Okay. If Braden makes any sudden moves, though, they'll probably start filling the place with bullets.
Braden called them here, so
yeah. So he's just stuck. I'm fine with that. She literally actually presses third floor as you say that.
I mean, we can't signal to him at all, right?
You're in the elevator.
There's no way we can signal to him or whatever. Because if we walk out there, they'll see that there's people down here. So,
yep.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that we can get to Braden.
She's pressed the level 3 on the elevator.
Well, can't Braden make it just look like it is, and then you can just walk over here?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I put my hand on the thing, and I just sort of reach out and I don't know. Could you tell me, right? When we walked into this lobby, we didn't break any of the glass or doors on the outside, right?
Nope.
How
so that's all
soundproof?
intact.
How soundproof was that?
Probably not super very, but they do all have idling cars out there. Basically, if they're mortals and you sort of whisper shout, they probably won't hear it. If they have like super hearing because they're vampires, they will probably still hear it.
I turned to Rodney and I'm like, Rodney, can you like?
Rodney's not fucking here.
Of course. Yeah, I just sort of like,
Of
but
course.
I just don't stick my head out or anything. I just go, Brayden, do a thing. Get your ass over to the elevator. We got a way out.
Damien?
Fucking
Was
get
that
out.
you?
The elevator door is dinged and opened. You're not like confused about what's happening
Alright.
here.
All right, yeah. So at this point, I think I do celerity and then.
You don't have celerity.
I'm not celerity. God damn it, chemistry.
Sure.
And
Do celerity. I do chemistry pretending I have celerity.
right, that's the illusion. But
Right.
yeah, no chemistry and to make it look like I'm not there anymore, right?
Uh-huh.
And I run over to the elevator.
Right. Well, no. Do you do chemistry to show that you're still there or that you're not there anymore? Because you want to do still there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, no, I didn't realize. Okay. All right.
But
so I
when they
set up
actually
the
go and check it
illusion.
out, it'll just be like a fucking a mannequin with like a hoodie on or something like that when they show up, and they'll just be like, "What the?"
Well,
fuck?
no. So the way that this will work is that he will be putting the illusion like a tarp at the end of the hallway where the doors are.
Yeah.
And when
Right.
they pass in through that tarp, it'll cease to exist.
Right.
So
So I want to
yeah.
set up that illusion.
All right,
to,
so
like, cover.
spend your blood and your willpower for that power. And that's fine. You can make it to the elevator. Then you guys press third floor.
Yep.
And that's where we'll end tonight. You guys have an out.
Aye.
The syndicate is here. You know, it's still tense, so it's still a bit of a cliffhanger. But you know, you solved that main problem. Look, dude, there's always going to be something unresolved at the end of an episode. Not even just cliffhangers. I can't until the very last episode where the last thing is finally done and we have wrap up. There's still going to be stuff that you don't get to see.
Yeah.
And we're having a shorter episode tonight because I feel sick and I'm tired and I'm sad. And, you know, this is what you got. And be thankful.
All right, guys.
You fuckers.
Jesus. Hey, guys.
You pieces of shit. You bottom feeding parasites.
Jesus fucking Christ. Wreckage is crazy tonight because Wendy's gave him a shit and he loves to eat Wendy's. So let's do some shout outs. Tux, Rodamus, let's start with you, man.
Yo. Hey everybody, I am Tux. You can find me at the places /Tuxtradamus on Twitch, Twitters, and YouTubes. Yeah, this is fun. I like vampires. Vampires are cool. See you next week.
Now there are crazy Eastern vampires.
Sweet. Spooty McTooty McFruity McNudie. What up, sir? How you doing?
Yo, you can find me on Twitch at Sputnik71, and you can find my podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. It's called Motion Sickness the Show.
Weren't you making a second one?
I'm working on it. Yeah, it's going into pre-production right now.
Nice.
So I will let you all know when that one comes out.
Awesome. And last but not least, we have our storyteller for the session, Mr. Dr. Wreckage. What up, sir? How's your business?
Hi, everybody. Not good. Sorry for a shorter episode tonight, but I think we got a succinct amount done. And honestly, I'd probably wanted to have ended it here anyway. You know, if I had had another hour, there probably just would have been more stuff happening in the building. As this is a nice little ending point. So just cut to the chase. And next week we might literally cut to the chase if there is one. Depends on how you guys are going to get out. Sounds like you got a fairly fine strategy, though. They can only really surround the bottom floor. They don't expect you to be able to leap from building to building or whatever, unless they are vampires too. In which case, who knows what'll happen.
No, I just set myself up to finally use Daredevil for once, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, actually, maybe.
So I can't remember what Daredevil does, but I know that I can't fucking fail. Like I can't botch with it, and I also get extra dice, and it also explodes tens or something. I don't know. It was pretty good. Like it was pretty good. I remember that much. I'll look that up.
You should read it again and perhaps change it when you see that it maybe isn't that great, and also almost never comes up.
You never let me change it, man.
I'd let you change it, maybe. But,
Daredevil, you are good at taking risks. When attempting extraordinarily risky non-combat actions, such as leaping from one moving car to another, characters with this merit add an additional 3 dice to their roll and negate a single botched die that may result such a roll. Generally, actions must be at least 8 difficulty and have potential to inflict at least 3 health levels of damage if failed. What the
Interesting.
Yeah, that's okay.
3 health levels of damage when failed. That's definitely a qualifier. But I mean, like the example it gives in the book would totally qualify if you were actually like on a highway and driving between 2 moving cars, because then even you, a vampire, would take a lot of damage if that failed.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the elevator shaft, didn't like, even if you failed that, you couldn't have fallen far enough to take 3 health levels of damage because you're a vampire, unless you were at the very top.
We'll talk about changing that.
But we won't be talking about that tonight because I'm tired and I'm going to bed. And thank you for joining us. And please join us again later in the week for other shows. Part of the reason why I'm ending early is to make sure that I pace myself for the other shows in the week, since I'm already sick. I certainly don't want to have any sort of interruption with Dead Man's Crest, which just has enough problems going up. So
not
please.
anymore, right? Now that nature's settled down.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
All right.
So guys, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's episode of Die Party LA at Night. Shenanigans, etc. Tomorrow will be the 3rd episode of Die Party Abyss, 5 p.m. PST. We have a new character joining us for that. That'll be fucking awesome. And then Wednesday, as Wreckage mentioned, will be Dead Man's Crest, followed by Polyrhythm on the next day. And on Friday, we will be playing Firefly on Board Games with Bearded Burrows Regrowth, so that'll be fun. And then Sunday, we have the brand new Die Party game, Die Party Embers, starting up. So that should be fucking awesome. It's going to be great. Then we have the daily streams as always. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. We're going to call it there. You have yourselves a sexy night. Bye-bye.